A very good morning to class 6. In today's science class, we will continue our chapter 7, Getting to Know Plants. Yes, at the end of today's class, you will be able to identify different types of roots, functions of roots. You can also identify the structure of flower, and you can also list the parts of a flower along with their function. Yes, root. We are very familiar with this term. But do we know how to define it? Actually, root is defined as a part of a plant which attaches it to the ground or to a support, and it's typically underground, conveying water and nourishment to the rest of the plant. It means that root is that structure which helps the plant to hold the soil. Okay, and it may be in the ground or on any support, maybe wall or something, but mostly the roots are underground. The main function of it is to convey water and nourishment to each and every part of the plant. Now let us study how it works. In activity 6, we would require 2 pots, some soil, a digger, blade, or a pair of scissors and water. For this activity, we need 2 plants of the same kind, and we will take this from our garden or open ground. But while digging them out, please ensure their roots are not damaged. Okay, so we will take 2 pots now. We have 2 plants of same kind, 2 pots. Now cut the root of one plant, and plant with roots should be potted in pot A, and the plant without root should be potted in B pot. Okay, now water them regularly for some days. Observe the plants after a week. What do you observe? Are both plants healthy? Though both plants were watered regularly, but the plant without roots have the leaves littered. Why so? Because there is no roots which transfer or which transport the water from the soil to the every part of the plant. That's why its leaves have fallen. Okay. Yes. Another activity is activity 7. In this, we would require seeds of gram and maize, cotton wool, 1 ball, and some water. We will take 2 balls, place some wet cotton in it. Then we will put 3 to 4 seeds of gram in one and maize in the other. Keep the cotton wet by sprinkling water every day until the sprouts have grown into the young plants. Sprouts means germinated seed in which roots have arisen. Okay, roots have germinated. So here, until the sprouts have grown into young plants, we have to water it, or we have to keep the cotton wet. After a week, try to separate the young plants from the cotton. Was it easy to separate it? And if it's not, then what is the reason behind? Actually, your roots work like an anchor. Okay, they hold the soil very firmly, and as a result they support the plant to hold the soil firmly and stand upright with the help of stem. So here, if we try to dug them out from the ground as well, the roots hold the ground soil or like an anchor. Okay, so here it is. This is because root helps in holding the plant firmly to the soil. They anchor the plant to the soil. Yes, activity 7. If we look at the root of the gram plants, you have pulled out from the cotton in the previous activity. Are both the roots same? In activity 7, we have taken 2 seeds. One is gram seed, one is maize. But both the roots are not similar in appearance. Why so? We have studied about the venation in the last lecture, that some plants have parallel venation, on the other hand some have reticulate venation. That venation is arrangement of veins around midrib or on both sides of midrib, right? Similarly, not all the roots are same in appearance, though the function is same, but appearance is different. So you can see that one root is somewhat broad, it's quite broad, and this is somewhat fiber like, a thread like structure, right? So on the basis of this, now we will take two different kind of plants from the open ground and try to dig them out carefully without damaging their root. Now we will observe the root of these plants. Okay, yes, here you can observe that there is one main thread-like structure and it have branches. The main thread-like structure is your taproot. Okay, and its branches or sub branches are called lateral roots. In the next figure, you can observe that these are thread-like roots, and one more common point is this: they have the common point of joining right here. So figure A is showing you taproot. Taproot is the main root of the plant. Okay, it's quite broad and it have its branches which is called lateral root. But in the second case, there are so many roots, they are very thin, they are fiber like, they are thread like, and they are attached at the same point. Okay, so these roots are called fibrous roots. Okay, so here the main root is called taproot and the smaller roots are called lateral root. Plants with roots as shown in the figure B do not have main root. All roots seem similar and they are called fibrous root. Okay, now on the basis of this, I would like to tell you the relationship between the taproot and the fibrous root and your venation. Here you can observe the leaves of figure A, the plant in figure A. It have reticulate venation. Reticulate venation means the venation with network like arrangement of veins. So the plant which is having reticulate venation have taproot as its main root, and on the other hand the plant which have parallel venation have fibrous root. Okay, so this is one of the brilliant idea given by Bhujo, that if he wants to know what kind of roots a plant has, he need not to pull it out. He can only observe the leaves, and on the basis of venation he can identify the type of root that plant has. Okay, yes, types of roots and types of leaf venation, they have a table here. So they are asking you to write the name of a plant, the type of leaf venation, and the type of root that plant have. Okay, so kindly fill it with any 5 type of plants. Yes, we have learned that root absorbs water and mineral from the soil and the stem conducts these to water. This we already have discussed in the last lecture. So the roots absorb water and mineral and your stem conduct food and water to different parts. So food is different thing which is made by leaves, and water and minerals is different thing which is absorbed by roots. You can see that when a stem transport water and mineral, the transport is from the ground level to the upper level or the higher level, and in the case of transport of food, the direction is from leaves towards the other parts, or you can say towards the ground because roots also need that food. So this is a kind of two-way traffic street system. So your stem is working in two-way direction or two-way transport. How it works, you already know. This is the ground level, okay? And if the water and mineral is transported to the top of the plant, then it is one way. And these are the leaves. Here the food is present, and if that food is transported to each and every part till the root, then it is the second way. So your stem shows two-way traffic street like arrangement in its structure. Okay, yes. Now flower. Flower is a beautiful structure which is used for so many purposes, for decoration, for giving it to someone, right? But what is that? And what is the main function of that flower? Flower is mainly the reproductive part of the plant. It specially works for making the seed, okay, and fruit. Flower is different in color, and we are able to recognize the plant by its flower very easily because many plants have same kind of root, but their flowers are different. So flowers generally help us to recognize the plant. Yes, this is the structure of flower. We will elaborate the function and structure of each and every part later, but let me tell you the structure. The colored part, you can observe these are petals, okay, and they are of different color: red, white, purple, blue. There are so many colors in flower, so these are called petals. Then if we talk about the green color portion, that covers the flower in bud condition, and once the flower blossoms or blooms, after this it is at the bottom of the flower. These are called sepal. These are 5 in number. They may be attached or they may be free. Free means in some conditions you will observe that the sepals are somewhat attached like this, and in many they are separated like this. Okay, so these are sepals. These are green in color. Then we have two more structures, which is male and female reproductive part of a flower. One is stamen, and stamen is male reproductive part of the flower. It have further subparts. One is anther. Anther is the top. It's a swollen bag-like structure. It have pollen grain in it which fertilize the egg. And the second structure is filament. It is a long slender stalk which helps a anther to stand upright, and it may be of the required height. Means if we need the anther at the top, the height of the filament is more, and if we need at a medium height, then the height is medium too. So filament is a slender stalk which help the anther for attachment. Then the second main part is female part of the flower, female reproductive part, and we have that female reproductive part as carpel and pistil. It have two names. Okay, yes, it further divided into three parts. One is stigma, second is style, and third is ovary. The first part is like a receptacle surface. Receptacle surface means it's a sticky surface that thus the name stigma. When there are pollen grains spread or dispersed in the environment, they will land at some surface. Okay, so stigma act as a landing surface for pollen grain. It is sticky so that once the pollen grain came, it will not go with the flow of wind or flow of water. because we have different varieties of flower. Some are aquatic, some are terrestrial. So here the stickiness of that stigma is to hold the pollen grain once it lent. Okay. Yes, after this we have a long tube-like structure. It's like a passage. It connects the stigma to the ovary. Ovary is the portion where the egg, or you can say ovules, are present. Okay, which will further make seed. So here the second part is style, and that style works as a passage for pollen grain or male gamete to move to the female gamete. Okay, so here once the pollen grain came, it will move through the style and it will come towards the ovary. Here ovary is bulge like structure. It's at the bottom. Here it is at the bottom of the carpel or pistil. Its swollen part. It have that small egg-like structures called ovules, and these ovules have female gamete. Now I'm again and again using one term, gamete. Gamete are spatial cells, or you can say spatial cells for reproduction present in both male and female. If those spatial reproductive cells came from male, they are called male gamete, and if they came from female, then they are called female gamete. Male gamete is pollen grain in plants. Female gamete is egg which is present in ovule. Yes, now let us elaborate flower. Yes, you can observe three diagrams in front of you, A, B and C. After looking at the stem, are you able to identify the plant? I think no. Even after looking at the leaves, we are not able to understand the type of plant we are observing. But once we observe the flower, we are able to directly answer that it is the rose plant, right? So the flower also help us to recognize the plant in a very best way. Yes, it is of different color. It is bright, okay, and some of them have fragrance. We have seen that some flowers develop into fruit, right? So it is also source of fruit. Yes, in activity 10 we would require one bud or two fresh flowers each of any of the following, whether it is datura, china rose, that is hibiscus, mustard, brinjal, lady's finger, gulmohar. Any of the flower we can take. We need a blade or a glass slide and a glass slide, or we can also take sheet of paper. Okay, we need magnifying glass or water. Now we will take these structures and will observe them. After observing them, we will see that some flowers are not single flower. They are group of flower like sunflower, chrysanthemum, marigold. These are not a single flower. They are group of flower grouped together to make a single structure. Okay. Yes. After this, the structures that I have told you earlier, you can also observe them here. We have taken two fresh flower. There are petals which are very brightly colored. Okay. And if we move towards the other structure, we have a green structure which covers the flower in a bud state, as told earlier. This is that green structure and it is called sepal. Once the flower blooms, the sepal is here at the bottom of the petals. Okay. Yes. Then if we take these sepals out, petals out, we have some structure at the center of the flower. That those structures are stamen and pistil. Yes, here we have observation table for the flower. We have to take any flower, whatever flower present in your surrounding, name it and write the number and color of sepal. Like we have taken example of rose here. the name of the flower of the plant is rose. And how many sepals or petals it have? Sepals are many, right? Sepals are 5 in number. Here it is. Sepals are 5 in number in rose plant, and petals are many. Yes. Are the sepals joined or separated? We have seen the sepals in the rose plant are separate. Petals are joined or separate? They are separate too. And stamens are free or joined to the petals, means in some flowers stamens are observed, they are attached to the petals, but in rose plant they are at the center, so they are not at all attached with the petals. Okay. Pistil present or absent in some flower, we observe that they only have stamen, and on the other hand in some we observe they only have pistil. So we can also make it a point that pistil is present or not. Pistil means female reproductive part is present in that flower or not. In rose, both male and female are present in the same flower. But if you take example of cucumber gourd, then you will observe that they have separate flowers for male and female reproductive part. Yes. Here are the parts of a flower. It's the stamen, as told earlier, that swollen bag-like structure, that really a bag-like structure because it have pollen grains in it. Okay, so it is called anther, and the structure which is long, slender, stalk-like structure, and it helps in attachment of stamen to the flower, and also it help in managing the height of the stamen as per requirement of the flower, is called filament. Yes, now it's pistil, very important structure because it have female gamete in it, that is egg. The innermost part of flower is called pistil. If you cannot see it completely, remove the remaining stamens. Means we can remove stamens to observe the pistil carefully. Now let us identify the part as told earlier. When we observe pistil, this is the stigma, landing surface. The long passage-like structure or tube-like structure is style, and the lower or bulging part at the bottom is ovary. When we cut the ovary, we will observe these egg-like structure attached to the center. That center is called placenta. Okay. Placenta will act like a structure which helps in attachment of many eggs in the ovary. Okay, so when we cut a longitudinal section means long, that is lengthwise. Means when we cut a section vertically, you will observe that we are able to see these small egg-like structures. These structures are called ovules, and they are attached with the help of placenta. While in the case of transverse section, these ovules are seen like this. Have you seen cucumber? So the structure of cucumber, when you cut it for salad, here it is. There are the seeds, right? So this is nothing. This is ovule arrangement in the center of the ovary, because the ovary after fertilization means once the male and female gamete comes together and fuse, the process is called fertilization. So once the fertilization takes place, your ovules are developed into seeds and your ovary is developed into fruit. Okay, for example, mango have only one ovule at the center, once that is developed into the seed, and the yellow sweet part, or you can say the soft part that we eat, is the wall of ovary. Okay, so here, did you find any flower in which number of stamen is different from the number of petal? If you observe rose plant, you will observe there are number of stamens present in it. On the other hand, the petals are somewhat less in number as compared to the number of stamen. In general, most of the flower have 5 petals, 5 sepals. Okay, but as we know, there is a large variety of flowers in its color, in its shape, each and everything. Similarly, the stamens are somewhat more in number in some, then the pistil are less in number than the petal. So their number may differ according to the variety of flower we are observing. Yes, very main thing here to discuss is that in some flower the sepals are joined and in some the sepals are free. We have taken example of separated sepals, that is rose, but let me tell you the example in which sepals can be seen, you can say joined or fused. The example is brinjal or eggplant. When you observe eggplant, the green sepal is attached to it, right? So that is sepal only which is attached, it's not free, it's joined. Similarly, in some flowers the petals are joined too, or it may be of different shapes and size and in different arrangement. Okay, if you find any doubt in the chapter, you can ask me and make the diagram of part of a flower in your notebook. Carefully label each and every part and try to understand each function. Okay, so let me revise the chapter today. Yes, we have studied about roots. The main function of root is to transport water and mineral after absorbing it from the soil to each and every part. The second function of root is to hold the plant firmly. It works as an anchor. Okay. Then the third function that I want to share is some roots are modified to store food in it. For example, radish, carrot, turnip, etc. If we talk about flower, the main function of flower is to help in reproduction of the plant, to make seed. Okay, so the main function is that only. Though we have different type of flower parts, the 4 main parts of flower are petal, sepal, your pistil, stamen. Yes, petals are colored appendages of the flower which helps in attracting the insect for pollination. Pollination is the process in which your stamen or pollen grain from the stamen are transferred to the stigma of the pistil. Okay, means male gamete is reaching the female gamete. The process is pollination. Yes, then if we discuss about the process, if we discuss about sepals, they are 5, they are colored and they act as a protective covering over the bird. Okay, yes, the next one is stamen. Stamen is male reproductive part of the flower and it helps in providing male gamete and further fertilizing the egg. Then carpel or pistil. Carpel or pistil is female reproductive part. It helps to make seed and fruit after fertilization, and you can say dispersion of plants, you can say in dispersion of seeds or plant in surrounding area, because the seed will work as a carrier of embryo or carrier of the baby plant, and wherever we plant it, we will get that plant dispersed or dispersed to that particular area as well. So that's it for today. Kindly read your chapter and if there is any doubt, please ask.